Okay. Okay, you are good to start.
Okay, because that felt like an official thing to say. So I wanted to make sure that we were official before I started saying things that were encouraging of Jeff. Great. Welcome, everybody. I see Matt just joined. I hope you're recovered as well, Matt. We were just verifying that Jeff has recovered, and we're grateful for that.
Yep, we're all good here.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear, and no lingering effects either for you, I hope. If you were saying something, we couldn't hear.
No, sorry, I couldn't hear your question.
Oh, okay. I was just curious about any lingering effects of COVID. I know that there's sometimes.
No, I think we're all good. I think my wife had a little bit of delayed response on getting her taste back, but we're pretty good.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that then. Okay, so welcome to everyone then, and yeah, the first item on the agenda was or is the Provo bike plan, but Paul realized a conflict in his schedule that he had not previously realized. And since he is sort of the point person for that and very interested in it, and there was no sort of essential timeline there, we decided that we would just delay it till next month. So we may have a shorter agenda, though, as I said, I've actually got a fair number of things to talk about inside the next agenda item. So the next agenda item is meeting with the City Council. And happy to report that last month, Quinn and I reported we'd met with most of them. We've still met with most of them, but we've met with more most than last time. We were able to meet, I can't remember where we were last time, but we've now met with Mayor Brunst. Jeff, I'm counting our weekly meeting or monthly meetings with you as meeting with you. So I hope that's okay. Debbie, Tom, David, we still have Brent and Terry. Terry just has not been responsive. And Brent, I left for last since he kind of knows us and our committee, but Quinn pointed out that he doesn't know some of new members of the committee. So I'm going to set up something with Brent still. All were very interested in talking to us, who we met with, and we really enjoyed our time with each of them and really got to know them. One of the things we invited them to do, or most of them to do, was to sign the Utah Clean Air and Climate Compact. And Debbie, in fact, did sign it. And so that's great to see her face and signature up there. Tom said that he would sign it, but last time I checked, it hadn't happened yet. I'm not quite sure what the holdup there was, but he expressed interest in signing it. So I was really happy to have two members of the council sign it or express interest in signing it. I think there's a management issue on their end as well. They don't want it to be all Orem. So they may not, I'm not sure if we wanted everybody in Orem to sign it, if they would go for that. But Jeff, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at it. Did you ever get a chance to look at it?
I did a quick perusal when you sent that to me. I need to get back on it and get that done.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, we would love your thoughts on it. Only if it's, I would sign it, accept, or just a way to continue the conversation.
Yep.
But there are a number of other things that I think are relevant to meeting with the City Council that I would like to raise. One of them is one of the things I learned about the mayor is that he has been very involved with Envision Utah. And I was actually really pleased to see the monthly newsletter from him. He put a note in there. I'm not sure, did others see this as well? Yeah, let's see, I am not sure if I can I screen share? Is that okay? And
yeah, doesn't work, let me know.
Okay, so I am going to try sharing this because I really enjoyed this message from the mayor, and I wonder if I will say something personally to him, and I wonder if we ought to say something as a committee because let's see. Let me see. I can blow this up here a little bit so you can see it better, and then there we go. So are you seeing this Boy 2020 has been a doozy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we see it.
Good. So, you know, the mayor talks about the quality growth strategy, right? And he's part of the Envision Utah team, and Utah has added over 300,000 additional housing units. But the main point here is that 260 square miles were projected to be developed, but only 126 square miles were developed for growth in Utah. So 52% projected developed land growth. And then we used 319 gallons of water per person per day in 1998. It was projected that we would be using 298 gallons in 2020 per person per day, but we're actually only using 225 gallons per person in 2020, or a 30% reduction in that. This is due to education, water metering, and a smaller quantity of land developed per person. 30% reduction in water use over the last 20 years. Air polluting emissions, today in 2020 was projected we would emit 2634 tons. We only emit 964 tons per day for a 64% reduction. Over 140 miles of mass transit have been built. Was projected to have 45,000 people living with half a mile of transit station. Today we have 354,000 people living within half mile of a transit station. Daily transit ridership was 54,000 per day. It's 145,000 per day now. So I think that this is fabulous that he is devoting this entire message to sustainability issues, talking about building codes being put in place. And there are a lot of good things happening in Utah to make our environment better and our lives healthier for the future. These are truly numbers to cheer about. So I don't know, reactions to the mayor's message here? Should we as a committee say thank you for that message, Mayor, and we'd like to build with you on this, or what should our reaction be?
I like that idea. I would like an official thank you from the committee and excitement and recognition.
Okay, and I saw Hillary nodding and I think Sarah nodding too. So I will assume that we can just do that, that was a vote. I don't know. So I will reach out to the mayor and I'll probably copy all you, and I will give him thanks for pointing this out and ask him again how we can partner on these kinds of issues. The second issue of relevance to the Provo City Council, or the Provo, sorry, I have Provo on my mind because I'm not ready to talk to them, to the Orem City Council. I know where I'm at, okay. This question of Bridal Veil Falls. And you've probably seen it in the news recently that the Utah County Commission is taking up the issue of whether to place a conservation easement on the falls next week, because news has surfaced of development plans for the falls. And Provo City Council has passed a resolution in favor of keeping public access and some kind of conservation easement. And other cities in Utah have done this, Utah Valley. Cedar Hills did it in any case. I'm not sure if anyone else has. So I wanted to put it out there and see if we wanted to recommend that the Orem City Council consider a resolution in favor of continuing public access and conservation easement at Bridal Veil Falls. Thoughts on that idea?
So if I can jump in on that one. So we've been having an email discussion back and forth and a lot of text messages, and that will actually be on the agenda for this Tuesday for the city council meeting. And as far as I can tell, we're unanimously in favor of that. But I wondered about the possibility of someone from this commission taking a few minutes and making a public statement during the public hearing part of the meeting and just kind of re-emphasizing the importance of this national treasure that we have in our own backyard and protecting that and keeping it safe from any kind of development.
So Jeff, there will be a public hearing on that issue?
I'm pretty sure there will be. And if not, there's always a time for public comment at the beginning of the meeting. So that would work too. I can verify that there would be a place for public comment.
So from my perspective, yes to both of those things. I definitely think we should leave this meeting having discussed whether or not we want to make a committee recommendation to the city council, and I'm in favor of doing that.
When is the county meeting? Is that on Tuesday as well, earlier in the day?
No, it's on the 9th, which I
Oh,
believe,
it's on Wednesday.
yeah.
So Orem City Council meets Tuesday night, and then County Commission meets the next morning, afternoon.
It needs the next day. I don't know morning,
Okay.
but I know it's the 9th.
Okay, thank you.
And I also know that Mayor Kafusi is to attend the county commission meeting to personally read the Provo City Council resolution. And I wonder if we could suggest something similar for Mayor Brunst.
Yeah, and in fact, we will have a resolution drawn up for this city council meeting, and I'm pretty sure that he would be in attendance at that meeting as well. So that I think that would be a great recommendation.
Okay.
The draft has already been done for the resolution already, actually, as a matter of fact. I was just looking at it.
Awesome.
So I heard from Quinn that he would be in favor of more of an official motion here. Sarah and Hillary, you've been nodding along, so
Yeah.
I might take, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Any discussion of what might go in there? I just suggested something that, that we include a recommendation that the mayor speak personally to the Provo Commission on it. And thank you, Jeff, as well, for the idea of us saying something at the Orem City Council meeting. So I'd like to volunteer to do that because I think that's a very nice opportunity.
Darren?
All in favor?
I'm trying to think of all the reasons I shouldn't, and I can't come up with very many, so that don't sound like they would fall flat. I'm happy to do it. I've never done anything like that before. It seems like something I could do and that would help cement the recent ties I've tried to create with the council members. So it seems appropriate that way.
And Darren, if you feel like you want any support in terms of having a statement you can read, or signatories or anything that just demonstrate that it's a kind of a collective comment, that's fine too. Just let us know.
Agreed.
So I could draft a little something and circulate it and make sure everybody's okay with it, and then I could have an official statement, and maybe, typically this is, I don't want to go on for very long, right? This can
Right.
be a very short thing.
I think you get 3 minutes and it goes by quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can plan on attending. I'm assuming it's all virtual, so I will plan on tuning in that night as well.
I
Great.
will try to as well.
Okay. Thank you. And
Aaron,
thank
would you mind stop sharing your screen so we can
Oh.
like see everybody?
Yes, that's, sorry about that, yeah. Okay. And though I'm actually, okay, any further discussion of that then? Okay, I will put something together, and if I want to make it more official, I can circulate it and make sure people are okay with it. And but I will take it that we have agreed that we will recommend to the city council that they adopt a resolution favoring conservation easement at Bridal Veil Falls.
And Darren, in terms of sequencing, in addition to the public statement, I think if we could communicate something coming out of this meeting through Jeff or through, you know, whatever way we want to communicate, but I think maybe in advance of that meeting, having communicated something from this committee would be helpful.
In advance of the
Public hearing,
council.
council meeting.
Yeah. So you're imagining an email from me to city council members saying that the committee recommends this. Yeah. Good. I agree. I think that would be a good way to proceed.
Do you think it would be appropriate to do, well, Matt, I'd like a second thought on this before, well, do you think it would be appropriate to do an official motion on this?
Right now at this meeting?
Yeah, for the recommendation.
I do.
Sure.
Matt, do you think it would be appropriate? I'm not sure if it would be appropriate for this body. Okay, let's just do it then.
Okay. I didn't hear Matt, but did he put on chat? No. Okay.
No, I haven't seen it, so.
No, I would say, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that a motion's fine if you have a articulated motion of what the intent of the recommendation is. This is a, sorry, I've been traveling here. My understanding is you want to make a motion to recommend that the council adopt language
Yes.
on the Bridal Veil Falls issue.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. Just have it clearly articulated before
So I
a
will
second
write
is
it-
made.
So I'll write it down. So speak slowly and make sure you know what you want to recommend clearly.
Okay. Well, I've thought a little bit about this, so I will try. I move that we recommend that the Orem City Council adopt a resolution favoring continuing public access.
Hold on. Adopt a resolution.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I think adopt a resolution favoring continuing public access through a conservation easement at Bridal Veil Falls.
Okay, so the motion is that you recommend that the city council adopt a resolution favoring continuing public access through a conservation easement at Bridal Veil Falls. Right? Okay. We got it.
That sounds pretty good.
Does that, I think it does, but does that imply the prevention of any development?
Good question.
I think it would.
Yes,
Conservation easement by definition is an easement that prevents development. So let me rephrase the motion. So we're recommending that the city council go forward with the resolution they have planned that will favor that's still going to maintain public access and is going to put a conservation easement on top of Bridal Veil Falls. And that easement, by definition, is going to prevent development. So if you're okay with that, then
yes.
we probably need a second.
I second.
All in favor?
I,
Okay. 4-0.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. The third item, which is also related to the city council, we didn't have anything forever, but now that we're sort of thinking about it, we've got more, so that's good, is that I was contacted earlier this week by Christopher Thomas, who coordinates the effort by different communities in the state to do community renewable program. And he also contacted you, as I understand it, Matt, because there's been a change in the timing of the program. The timing was supposed to be that by December 31st, different communities needed to agree to the governance structure. But that timing has now been delayed indefinitely, though one imagines not too long, while they make sure that all communities have the ability to consult with the committee planning the community renewable energy program and make sure that they understand the parameters of the expenses and the commitment. And so they are planning on hosting meetings early next year where they will help communities understand those parameters. Now, Orem City has notified its withdrawal from the process, but this is just an information session, and Christopher invited Matt, and because Matt had been designated the representative from the city of Orem. And in our conversations with members of the city council, I would say we did not raise this community energy program. But my memory is that 3 members of the city council sort of voluntarily raised it on their own. And all 3 suggested that, they would be willing to think about it more. So that's not a majority, and I'm not saying that it's time to ask the city council to reconsider their position on this. But I would favor Orem City still learning more about the governance structure and the costs and the process. So Matt, maybe you could inform us of your position on this initiative. You're muted, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, I'm traveling here. I'm on train. So can you restate the question? I got most of that, but I missed the question.
Well, I'm just wondering, so I heard from Chris that he had invited you to, or the city of Orem, and I understand you're the city of Orem's delegate to this process, to learn more about the updates on the governance structure and costs. And he told me that you had indicated a willingness to learn more. Is that the case?
Well, that's the case. I think here's the intent. The intent of me staying informed is I was under the understanding that you have continuing discussions with council members. If by chance council members change direction, I want to be well informed of where things are in the process of that program. And so I said I'd be willing to stay informed and that he could invite me to future meetings. That's all there is. So.
Thank you, Matt. That was the question, and I appreciate that, and that makes a lot of sense. Because in case you missed the preamble, in our discussions with some city council members, they suggested that they would be willing to continue a discussion about this. So there is always that opportunity possibly and chance. So the other thing I should report is that Christopher informed me, and maybe you saw this in the news, Salt Lake City Corporation has moved ahead with plans to build a solar energy plant for the city. And the cost, he says that the cost of that is, he can't divulge, but he can divulge what was divulged in a press release, is that the cost is 2% higher for the Salt Lake City Corporation than its existing contract with non-renewable sources. So the point is that one can develop renewable sources, and in this case, it's, I think the Salt Lake City Corporation is the main developer here of a new solar array for very little additional cost compared to what is currently being paid for non-renewable rates. I would be happy to hear discussion of any of those items that I've just presented. Okay, I assume then that Matt, thank you for, that seems like a very reasonable position for you to adopt, and we look forward to more information as you learn it. And we will just keep our eyes peeled for possible further developments here. Okay, great. So that was all of my items that relate to the city council and our meetings with individual city councilors. The next thing on the agenda.
Hey, Darren.
Yes.
I sent you in chat that I have a couple of items there too.
Yep. Okay. Got it. And I'm going to add those in. I think the next agenda items are all quite brief, but I have misplaced my agenda because I've got too many open windows. Does anybody have the agenda in front of them?
So you wanted to talk more about the city council discussions then, before we move on to the green team?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought when you said you had further agenda items, you meant not city council. I'm sorry, Quinn. I totally misunderstood you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. In fact, one of them was Bridal Veil, and we've covered that. So I only have one additional. And that is that in our meeting with Mayor Brunst, we had a discussion, and this originally came up in our meeting with Debbie Lorett, about the retreat that takes place in the early part of the year. And Debbie and the mayor both were enthusiastic about having somebody at the city council retreat speak to issues of resource sustainability. So the mayor puts that agenda together. He puts that agenda together in December. And so now is the time for us, if we want to invite the council and the mayor to have some kind of visitor during their annual retreat to talk about these things. Sarah is extremely well connected. Hillary, I know you've got a lot of connections too. I'm not envisioning that one of us be the speaker at that, but I am thinking that it would be helpful to have something within our wheelhouse on the council retreat agenda if the mayor's interested and willing to put that on. And so, Sarah, my question, I guess, starting to you is, if you could choose anybody, right, in your broader circle of people who you think would be informative and helpful and resonate well with our council, to put on the agenda to meet with them. And I assume, Jeff, that the retreat will probably be by Zoom again.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So there's no travel involved.
Not much of a retreat.
And there's no travel involved, and I suspect it's half an hour or less of a commitment. But I would just like us to nominate somebody for that and pass that recommendation, or maybe a couple of recommendations on to the mayor coming out of this meeting, so that he has some ideas for his agenda.
I can percolate on that a little bit. Think about that. So. That would be great.
You think you could get John Curtis again, Sarah?
I don't know. I could reach out and ask him. See if he's available. Let me know when it is. I'm sure. Yeah.
Do you guys have the date yet, Jeff?
I have not heard a date yet. That doesn't mean it hasn't been scheduled. Let me do a little looking really quickly while we're talking about other things and see if I can.
So I'm just trying to think what kind of person we want, right? We want somebody who will be able to address local sustainability issues with some knowledge, and sort of what it's possible for Orem City to do along the lines of sustainability, right?
Shauna Meekum from MAG could be an option. She's really good, and I'm sure they already know her. And she, you know, as far as the local/regional planning, she's very well connected and very bright.
I wonder if someone from Envision Utah makes sense. Maybe the mayor could recommend somebody. Or just brainstorming. What about the idea of having Provo thinks more. You know, they actually have or UVU, somebody from a nearby community or part of our community, sustainability person at UVU. I don't know who that is, but a sustainable city person from the city of Provo, where we could talk, because even though Orem can act independently, it's often good to act jointly in cooperation with others. So something to learn about what UVU or Provo City are doing along these lines. That's an idea, maybe.
Those are good ideas, I think, to me. I would also be comfortable, even if the person was in a bit of a niche area. So if it's somebody that was really, really good on water usage, or really good on renewable energy, or really good on air, I think any of those could also be appropriate.
I mean, no. Eric Ellis at the Utah Lake Commission. I don't know how much he does on energy, but obviously a regional interest that they already know him well. Could be another option.
I know Sarah and I are both on the UVU Sustainability Committee, and there's like the sustainability coordinator, but there's also a few professors that like do insane amounts of work, like Kevin Shirtless.
Kevin Shirtless, yeah.
He's really engaging, and he has his fingers in every sustainability. Like he does energy stuff, he does collecting algae to make biofuels, he does like air pollution stuff, like, and he's really dynamic.
Yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good.
Sarah, was he at the library the night that you invited us to come to?
He was not. He was not one of the ones that was speaking. No.
Well, I like that idea. I mean, I think anybody at UVU would be considered to be part of our community and relevant to our community.
I
Jeff,
think he does live locally too. I think maybe not. I think so.
Maybe Jeff, you could provide a little counsel on that. What do you think would be helpful for the council to hear or discuss, given where you guys are?
I think any and all of the above that has been discussed. I think any discussion in any of those areas would be helpful. I think clean air, water, just an overall sustainability. I think any of those areas would be great. And maybe another thought would be, you know, once we find out who this person would be, maybe we could ask, have some pre-planned questions or some questions to kind of a Q&A that we could, things that we may not understand or may not have known about or thought about, or I don't know, things that we could maybe give him some time for, or her, some time for some really good question and answers.
I think a Q&A would be awesome.
I really enjoyed your idea, Hillary, and Sarah seemed to second it. That sounded pretty interesting to me. Somebody who's involved in lots of things, but has the expertise at UVU. That sounded quite
Yeah, and he's also really optimistic. I think sometimes it can be a super bummer to study some environmental issues, but he's really solutions focused too, which is really good. He has I think he was in industry before coming to UVU. He's a chemistry professor. So kind of a broad range of people he's comfortable talking in front of, probably.
Yeah, I think he would be great.
Yeah.
I think they would like him.
Yeah, he's a great person. Yeah.
Why don't we try that? And
Cool.
perhaps the thing we need to make sure we do early on is send an email to the mayor to say, hey, we talked about this. We have a proposal for your agenda. Maybe there are two paths forward. So one would be Sarah and Hillary. Would you guys be willing to talk to Kevin and just see if that would be game for that? And then Darren, if you want me to draft an email and copy you on that, just to remind the mayor that we wanted to reserve a little space on that, and that we have a couple of potential options that we're working on, something like that.
Let's do that. That sounds great, Quinn. I was thinking we ought to get on the mayor's agenda here and just remind him that we would like to do that. And Hillary and Sarah, you were okay with that assignment to approach Kevin on this? Okay. What was Kevin's last name? I missed it.
Shirtless. SHURTLEFF. Is that right?
Okay, great. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you, Quinn, for following up on that.
Would it be helpful if I just shot the mayor a text and said, hey, just a heads up?
Yeah, please.
Please plan accordingly, and you'll be hearing from someone from the committee or from the commission soon. But
yes,
I know he'll be in favor of this. So
thanks, Jeff. That's great.
I'll shoot him a text right now.
And Jeff, when Darren and I were talking about other people we might want to meet with on the council and recognized that Terry was not responsive to Darren's emails, my suggestion was, since we don't know why, we can't tell if it's because he doesn't want to meet with us. I was hoping that maybe you could check in with him on a personal level and just say, hey, this is my committee assignment. I know these guys wanted to meet with you. How would you feel about that? I think maybe going through you rather than sending another email might be helpful at this point.
I would be happy to do that. And if we could segue, I think I mentioned to Darren in an email, the Hillcrest Park is something very near and dear to him. And he has an agenda there, and he wants that whole thing to be grass and trees. And he and I have talked a lot about that. And I think if you approach him about the park first and let him know that you are allies, obviously, for a park, I think that would be a nice introductory statement and kind of building a bridge there. And I'd be more than happy to let him know that you're meeting with everyone, and this is not a commitment issue or anything like that, but that you just want to get to know him better and let him know who you are, and that it's very friendly and warm and fuzzy, and just an opportunity to make friends. So yeah, I'd be very happy to do that.
Thank you. And when you talk to him, would you let us know?
Yes.
Because I think we have exhausted our number of emails we can send without being annoying.
Yes.
But but that's a great approach, and that would certainly be something we would want to talk about. We certainly talked about that with David Spencer a lot too. That's also seems to be dear to his heart. So it's a natural thing to talk about for sure. And yes, we favor trees. Okay, great. Other issues relating to the city council? Okay. The final items actually should go more quickly because they're more just information items than discussion items. We have floated the idea with the Orem City Green team, and Matt was talking to the city about this. Matt, do you have an update for us? You're on mute if you're trying to talk. Matt, maybe you're commuting.
Yeah. Update. I am working with the representative out of the city manager's office, coordinate what efforts we already have done as a city, if we already have any people in place looking at these items, and then we'll have a discussion from there on about how to maybe create a team, and then on maybe an annual basis we can coordinate with Nrsc to get their feedback and input on ideas and thoughts they have on sustainability issues that we're working on. I'm headed out of town for a week, so I won't have any new information for another week and a half.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate your keeping that on your agenda. I realize that's sort of a large thing to do, to create a new sort of process inside of a major bureaucracy and structure. So thank you for doing that. The Brownfields Committee, last time we discussed having Paul and Hillary get involved with the Brownfields Committee. Just looking for an update there.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there is an update. I was going through.
No, let me give you an update. So we're in the process. A lot of this process won't involve NRSC members. We have a consultant, BRS. They're on the East Coast. It's a multi-stage effort, and we are in the phase of the project where we are looking for property owners that are willing to participate in the preliminary assessment of sites. We've been working on it for 2 weeks now. We haven't had an
Matt,
So we're back doing some direct. Our consultant's been working directly with different people. We're going to have some city people like Ryan Clark who have contacts reach out, and basically the program doesn't go forward until property owners sign up to do the assessment. NRSC members, Jake and Hillary, they'll be invited to future steering committee meetings where they'll get updates and briefings, and we'll ask for feedback. I don't know when those are calendared for at this point.
thank you. Thank you. That, I understand. We understand that that's also a process, but we just don't want to lose track of these good ideas. So thanks for those updates. The next item on the agenda is an action item, approval of the 2021 calendar. I actually have an issue here, sadly. My issue is that I teach a very large class next semester, and coordinating that class is extremely difficult. And I have to coordinate a meeting with 10 students who are my teaching assistants for that class. The one time that worked for all 10 students was, of course, Thursdays at 5 p.m. Next semester. So I was hoping to sort of, I mean, I was hoping to muddle through somehow. I was hoping to maybe I wouldn't need a meeting every single week, and so maybe I could, but I might need to be absent from a couple of these committees meetings. I don't know. I'm feeling horrible, but I'm really sort of stuck here because trying to find another time is really hard to work with. And I think muddling through is a viable strategy, maybe, if I can't make one or two of these meetings. But I am happy for your feedback on that. Maybe if you think that that is not a viable strategy, I'm happy to either resign as chair or try my best to see if I can find a slightly different time with the students, which I can try to do. So I don't know, open to thought.
Could we possibly move it to like Wednesday at 5 or?
No, not really. I mean, it's hard. Different students have classes.
No, I mean our meetings.
Oh, our meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thought.
It's probably not an option because Wednesdays are designated for planning commission meetings that happen twice a month. I guess we could try and do it on a week that they don't meet though. So it wouldn't be a first Wednesday. It would need to be like a second or fourth Wednesday.
And Darren, just to be clear, this would be an issue for the first 4 months of the year, January through April.
Yes. Yeah, January, February, March, and April. And yes, that's correct. Just the first 4 months, and then it's not an issue anymore.
Well, I'm always happy to, step in as necessary. So we would hate to miss you from the meetings, but you do have a backup if you need it, okay?
Is there a way, looking at this calendar, I know we've scheduled the January meeting for the 14th instead of the 7th because the 7th falls close to the holidays and stuff, but BYU does not have classes that week. Is there a way we could change the 14th to the 7th? And then I would only miss 3 meetings and maybe only 2.
Easily, yes.
7th works for me.
If we could do the 7th of January instead of the 14th, then I think the issue gets a lot less because I bet that I could muddle through by making one of those 3 and maybe even part of another one. And is that okay with you, Ryan? I don't think I heard your voice.
Yes. That should be fine with me personally. Yeah, I can make that work. Yeah,
I apologize.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's the one. I was just like, oh, really? That's the one time everybody can do it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. That shouldn't be an issue. I'm just I'm moving that week, so I can make that work. I can make that work.
No, you're very kind. And then in April, if we really wanted to do, actually April is the other one that I would be likely to make because there we're already getting to the end of classes and sometimes I don't need to meet right at the very end because I've already coordinated everything I need to. So we can think about it later, but it's possible the 8th would be better for me than the 1st. But I feel like I'm just imposing my schedule on people here, and that is stressing me out. So let's just move one of them, and I think we can figure this out otherwise if we can move that January meeting.
Okay.
Hey, Darren.
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak out.
Okay.
I can hear my family gathering.
Good. Thank you, Jeff.
But thank you. Thank you for being involved in so many great things. That's great that you've just got so many things in your life that you're juggling all of these fun things. Good for you. I just texted the mayor. I haven't heard anything back yet. And I will reach out to Terry and we will get a time figured out that he can meet with you guys And I think those were all of my assignments. And then we'll watch, we'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at the city council meeting.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Jeff.
Take care.
Yep. See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I believe that we have to officially adopt this calendar. So I think we need a motion. Is that right, Jake?
Yeah, so here's how I would do the motion if I was you. I would say something to the effect of, I move that we approve the calendar, yada, yada, for 2020, with the amendment that we meet on January 7th instead of January 14th.
Okay. I move that we approve the calendar as circulated by email, with the exception that we move the meeting on January 14th to January 7th.
I second.
Second. Okay, Quinn, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have now adopted the calendar. The last action item is approval of minutes from the November 5th meeting. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I motion that we approve the minutes of the November meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Are there any other matters that we've not discussed? Great. I motion adjournment.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It does seem a little bit silly, but there you have it. Thanks, everybody.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Darren.
Bye-bye. Take care, everybody.